Welcome everybody, I am T, and today I want to talk a little bit about linear regression. Now, we did use linear regression in the pitcher strikeout model, and I wanted to discuss it a little bit in this video because I didn't want to talk about it too much in the prior one. So what linear regression is when you're taking a dependent variable, so a variable that depends on other things, and independent variables that don't depend on other things, and see how those independent variables can impact your dependent variable. Now, in the pitching model, we had things like strike percentage, looking strike, swinging strike, foul ball strike, and we're going to take those numbers and see how do those values indicate performance for a strikeout percentage. Now, using these numbers, we're going to be able to calculate out roughly what our strikeout percentage could be. As always, you can add more statistics into this and try and get a better calculation. It doesn't mean that you have to only use these once. A way to visualize linear regression is to think of a chart, and it's got dots all over it, and it's all of the data points that you have. And what the formula is trying to do is find a nice smooth line to go through all of those dots and bring them in the shortest distance to that line. And then that is going to be what creates your formula for you to put your values into and then calculate against. So let's go ahead and dive into the spreadsheet. So once again, this is the pitching prop model, and today we're going to discuss the linear regression that was utilized inside of this video previously to try and calculate the pitching strikeout percentage. So again, a linear regression is when you're taking multiple variables and trying to understand the relationship between them. So in this one, what we did was we took the strike percentage, the looking strike percentage, the swinging strike percentage, and the foul ball strike percentage, and we went ahead and put those into a linear regression to see how they're related to one another. And then we went ahead and put them into the formula for y equals mx plus b to get these values. Now, one of the things to remember is that in linear regression, you have dependent and independent variables. So when you're talking about a dependent variable, that is the variable that will be impacted by the other statistics. An independent variable will not be impacted by these statistics. So if we wanted to do a comparison on the strikeout using those statistics that we had on the dashboard, what we'd be doing is looking at these here and comparing them to the strikeout percentage. So in order to see how predictive these are to the strikeout percentage, the first thing you're going to want to do is move all of the statistics that you're using for your linear regression next to one another. Now, these are the statistics that are the independent variables, and over here is my dependent. The ones that are going to be your independent are the ones that need to be next to one another, so if you need to move data around, go for it. Once you set that up, as I have here, you'll come up into data, come over to data analysis. The modal will open, and then you'll see in here an option called regression. Choose OK. Then the first thing you're going to want to do is click labels, because that is going to go ahead and show the header information. That is important so you remember what you're actually looking at. For the Y, this is going to be the dependent variable. So we'll come over here to strikeout percentage, select from the title, and hit Control-Shift down to get that whole range. Now if we scroll back up, we need to put in the X values, which are going to be our independent variables. So we had strike percentage, the looking, the swinging, and the foul, and then we'll just go ahead and capture all of those as well. In here, I will send it to a new worksheet, so that way I can look at the information. You could also output the range and info onto your actual same sheet that you're working on. I find it cleaner to send it to a new sheet, and we'll go ahead and hit OK. All right, so now it's gone ahead and spit this information out. So here we have the R squared. A great way to think about this is a percentage of relationship. The statistics that we were using, the strike, the looking, the swinging, and the foul ball, to explain the strikeout percentage, that information has about 68% relevance in explaining why there's a strikeout percentage of a certain value. So you want to try and get a high R squared. You want to try and get that close to 1. If it is 1, there's probably problems in your regression because you have all the exact statistics that inform it. So if I were to say, how many baskets did a basketball player make in a game, and I fed in their 2-point, 3-point, and free throws, well, obviously it's going to give you a 1 because that's the only way they can score those points. The next thing you're going to want to look at is the p-value. Now in the p-value, this is an area where you're going to want to evaluate this and make sure that these numbers are below 0.05. The reason being is that if it's below 0.05, it is a useful statistic and it has statistical significance. So if you see one of these that is above 0.05, you may want to start questioning if you want to use it in your regression. You could go ahead and delete it and rerun your regression without that variable, or you can choose to take it. Maybe you have a 0.06. That could still be useful. The general guideline, however, is 0.05 or below is best, but it is up to you and your judgment in how you think these variables will impact it. So now that we have these, we see that these are all statistically significant. We have a decent R-squared. We can go ahead and take this information and bring it over to our main screen. Now that we're on the main screen, we're going to go ahead and just paste it here so that we can see what we're doing. So now that we have this information, we're going to create a formula to go ahead and put this information in using these statistics and then try and get a pitching strikeout percentage. So what we're going to do is say equals, and we're going to always choose the intercept first, and then hit plus, and then parenthesis, and then you'll take the strike percentage coefficient, right, this number here that we copied from the regression output, times the strike percentage variable that we grabbed from the pitcher in the pitching statistics. So those two will be multiplied together. Then you'll do plus another parenth, and same thing, the looking times the other looking, close parenth, plus the swinging times the other swinging. Let's put these parentheses in there. And then we'll do the last one here, which is the foul, times this one, and then we'll put the parentheses in there. You got to remember to always put these parentheses in there, otherwise you could get an inaccurate calculation. So we'll go ahead and say enter, and that's going to give us an 18% strikeout. So again, we're using these numbers that are coefficients that basically are trying to figure out what is the relationship of these statistics to drive towards the output of a strikeout percentage. So again, we had a pretty good R, and all the variables are considered statistically significant. So right now it's giving us an 18% strikeout. So using that, we can now use this pitching strikeout number into our predicted amount, and we can use that in further calculations. Now you can use this for a lot of different things, and you can calculate it different ways and choose different statistics. The key though is that when you're doing this, you want to have a low p-value, a high R value, and statistics that seem to make sense. If you have a 0 or a 1 for your R-squared, something is wrong and you want to reevaluate what you're looking at. So that was linear regression. It's not overly complicated. It's the classic y equals mx plus b formula. When you collect the statistics you want to use, make sure that all of your independent variables are located next to one another in the data sets. Your dependent variable does not need to be next to them. When you're doing a linear regression in your data, just make sure that there's no blanks, there's no weird div errors if you're doing any formulas to calculate a statistic. Once you have it all set, just go into data, data analysis, regression. Be sure to include your labels so you know what statistics you're looking at. Make sure that the amount in the range for your dependent is the same range length as your independent, and then that way it can do the proper calculation. Once you get this, you can do this a few different times, try different variables, different statistics, and then you can start seeing that R value change up or down based upon what you put into it. This is a great way to really find some numbers and evidence for and against some statistics and what you think could cause outcomes on games, whether it's winning, points scored, points given up, over-unders, any prop models, anything like that. Now, there are many other types of regression that modelers will use. This is the basics of linear regression. If you're curious or interested, go look through the internet. There's information everywhere on linear regression. As a last piece of commentary on the linear regression, please note that this is a very basic linear model. This is not that complicated. Now, this is, again, not going to beat a sports book. The more variables, though, that you do apply in linear regression, the more chance you can improve your R-squared and not overfit your model. As always, if you have not already joined the Discord channel, go ahead, head over to unabated.com, sign up for the free Discord channel. You can talk to me, you can talk to Jack, you can talk to a continually growing community about sports betting. Everyone is in there discussing and chatting about edges, promos, models, theories, and ideas on how you can try and beat the book. So, other than that, happy wagering.